Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you see, we're back on my little farm in Farming Simulator 25. Got a couple pallets of eggs over here. Chickens are doing good, they got plenty of food, health is good. Still up, sitting at 360 I believe. Let me run back over here. Yeah, 360. However, we are out of chicken feed in the trailer. They've got enough, it should last them for a couple days. Greenhouses are doing good, I just checked on the water. And it is also now February in game. Real quick, our honey production is going extremely slow. I think I may end up getting a few more beehives. But as I was saying, it is now February in game. So if we take a look over here at cotton, cotton is plantable between February and March, harvestable between October and November. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our cotton farm. Go in here. First thing we got to do is get a seeder, or I'm sorry, it's not a seeder, it's a planter. We're going to go with the Kinsey, per what we talked about in the last episode. No modifications or anything to be done to it. We're going to lease. That's going to lease for $12,000, almost $13,000. That is pricey. Got to figure out what size tractor we need. Needs to be at least 350 horse. So we're going to go a little bit bigger than that. Let's look at medium tractors. I'm just looking across here real quick, see if we see anything. Medium tractors are not big enough. So let's go to large tractors. Don't need anything quite that big. I'm also looking at the top speed of some of these, just because I'm curious. There's one for 360 horse. Alright, let's go through here and find us a tractor that'll work for what we need. We need at least 360. I want to go a little bit above that. That's capable of 360 with just a slight upgrade. So let's bump it one time. 388 or 357. We're going to go 388. Track. Standard. Front weight. You can put a really big front weight on that thing. We're American, so we're going to go with the U.S. Let's lease that one. 21,000. Almost 22,000. And this little plantation we're working on here is going to get expensive. Alright, here we are in our Trex John Deere. Might be a little bit of overkill, but after the hassle I had in the last episode, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for a little bit of overkill. We're going to go ahead and hook up, go back to the store. What is that? Oh, rice field. That's a front end pallet jack, or not pallet jack, but a pallet fork for a front end loader, it looks like. The seeds. We can only get 8. Let's go ahead and order 8. Alright, there we go. Just filling up our seeder right now. I don't feel like transporting all these pallets down there to the farm, so we're going to fill here. And I'm not worried about having any leftover. Worst case, we'll have a little bit of leftover seed, and we'll just save it for the next. Alright everybody, as you see, we are just about done seeding this field. Got a few spots I need to go and clean up, just where it doesn't look like the seeding actually happened. Might have been a little bit too far to one side or something. Like that spot right there. Actually, I think it got it there. But we're going to make another quick pass here, just to be sure. I'd rather waste some seeds and overseed a little bit than go to harvest and find out that I've missed quite a bit. So I'm actually going to try and run right along this blue line here. I don't know how wasteful this is going to be. And I know realistically you would not do this. All you'd be doing is right now is destroying part of your crop, part of your field. But luckily this isn't realistic. It is to some degree. And I'm trying to keep a lot of realism in here. But I'm also willing to sacrifice some realism for some convenience. Right there, there's a big patch that we missed. Driving over it now. And it's handled, just about done. There we go. I do believe we are done. So we're going to go ahead and fold this guy up. I think we're going to back in. We're going to use the neighbor's property right here. Well, we threw some up there on the fence. Oh well. We're completely unloaded. We're going to go ahead and get this thing turned back in. And as you see now, it's saying that it needs to be rolled. That's a little irritating. If I knew that, I would have rolled it before we actually started harvesting. Or not harvesting, but before we started planting. But nothing we can do about it now. So I'm going to pass time, do some contracts here and there until we get up to harvest time. Just because I really don't have a whole lot of anything else to do. If we head back here to our chicken farm, as you see, we got some eggs. We'll turn those in November when it's peak season. Our greenhouses are automatically selling, so we don't have to worry about those. The reason I did that is because I cannot stand trying to load all of them up into the truck there. So I've got them set up to sell automatically. If we want to make an argument for realism, we can say that we set up a farmer's market here next to the road every weekend, and we sell straight out of the greenhouse. What we don't sell, we donate or we use as fertilizer. But I did the loading up the trailer for an episode or two. It is extremely annoying, and we'll probably actually be going away from chickens after we finish with cotton, or once we set up a field so that we can actually get into cattle. But until then, I'll deal with having to load up eggs once in a while. I am going to come in here to our construction options. I got to remember where it's at. Bees, here we go. We are going to put down some more beehives here, just because we're not producing a whole lot of honey very quickly. And that pallet of honey's been sitting there for a minute. What is that, 4? Yeah, I like that. That'll work. Alright, so we quadrupled our output. And it'll take those a little while to get started, but once they get started, we should be able to harvest from them. They don't give you any indication of what their status is or anything like that. But I'm going to look at some contracts, do some contracts, and I'll be back with y'all around harvest time, which is going to be October. And then in November we'll take care of our eggs. Been doing some grinding, knocking out some contracts, taking me quite a while here. Noticed that we were low on chicken feed while I was doing some of the contracts, just taking care of chores around the farm. And got some chicken feed, and we had a little oopsie on the way back. That is our tractor and trailer right there on its side. It's got some eggs in it. It's got quite a bit of chicken feed. Luckily, everything was strapped down. So we're going to come in here and we're going to try to rescue this. Well, we might be in trouble here, folks. And we're onto something here. We're kind of onto something. Let's see if we can push it back in the road a little bit. Problem is that car right there is kind of in the way. Okay, that's it. No. Traffic off. There we go. I've been dealing with the traffic blocking me in, T-boning me in intersections where I obviously have the right of way for way too many episodes. Too long. I'm done with it. AI traffic's off. Something I might turn back on after I get done with this rescue operation. I don't want to recover it to the store because I'm worried that we're going to lose our product if we do that, if we reset it. And then I have to come back down here and I have to load everything up from the field. There we go. Alright, rescue complete. Yeah, basically I came up on that turn a little bit too hot. Hit the brakes, started turning, and we were going way too fast and it rolled on me. But as you see, we have 16,000 liters of wheat, 8,000 eggs. And granted, after a wreck like that and as much beating as I did on this truck, I'm pretty sure every one of those eggs is broken. We just won't tell the restaurant that when we sell them to them. And how often do you go to the supermarket and buy eggs and they're about half of them are crushed. There we go again. We almost rolled right there. I don't know if y'all saw that. My driving skill right there saved it. We're going to get this backed back in here. That way we can start feeding our chickens again. And we're going to continue grinding out some time until time to harvest. Alright everybody, here we are, October. We were able to grind up 257,000. So first thing I want to do is we're going to come in here. We got to go to construction. We need something to use to process our cotton. There's our cotton field. It looks like it's taking a little bit of damage. I don't know exactly what that's from. And that's interesting. Last time I played, it didn't lay the crop like that. That's where I turned around at some point. So we've got to be a lot more careful when we're actually planting. That is cool. I really like that. I don't know how we're going to go about this, but we'll figure something out. I want to use this little plot of land right over here. This is ours. And go to factories. That's the Spinnery. That's the cheapest one. And then the tailor shop is 240. We're not going to be able to get the tailor shop this go round. So let's set it up like this and then slide it back on the property. There's that. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a lip there, but I think we can work around that with our telehandler if we need to. And then we'll come right over here when we have the money saved up to 240,000, and we'll drop the tailor shop right there. Might have to move it forward just a little bit, but it'll fit just perfectly right there. And we can probably do it just about right there, and then we can work on leveling the terrain around it. We'll still have a lip over here near the road, but we'll be able to work with that. Now we've got to rent equipment or lease equipment. We need to get that guy. I think this just is a bell loader, so this just loads up the bell and transports it. I think we'll be able to actually transport it with this. We'll just have to control the drop, like when it kicks it out. The last lease is going to be 24, almost 25,000, but that should be about the only piece of equipment we need. Get out of there, cycle through all my vehicles, and here we are. Over here by the store. So if y'all want to meet me down by the farm, here we are at the farm. And as you see, this is going to take a minute to harvest, so I will turn it back on when we get closer to that time, or if anything interesting happens. Something I noticed that is pretty cool about this piece of machinery here. You see that arm coming up right now? approximately every 1,000 liters, that arm moves down. I believe what it's doing is actually packing the cotton down and helping using that to create the bell. I'm not a farmer, so I'm not sure exactly how that works, but just looking at it and having just kind of a mechanical knowledge of things, that's what it looks like to me. There it is moving down again. So I believe that's actually packing that bell in there, making it tighter. And then it's moving back up, as you see, creating room for more cotton to be put into the machine or into the hopper. And here's one of our dead spots. I'm not sure what happened there, but as you see, and as I said earlier, it's going to take a while to get this whole field done. We're just now crossing 28% on this tank, or this bin. That arm I was talking about moving up and down there on the side, or that framework. I've been watching it here now that we're pretty close to being full, and I noticed it moving a lot slower or a lot less than what it was before. There, it just went right back up. There we go. We are full. So I'm going to run down here, dump this load off, and we'll get started. I've already gone in and set up the spinnery for production. I hope I can fit through here. Oh, we can't fit through there. All right, well, let's haul the mill back up here to the top of the field. We'll go out through this top little entrance exit. And there we go, unloading. Almost forgot to click the button. And it's taken it. It's gone inside the spinnery. Spinnery is now working. And there you go. We currently have just under 20,000 liters in the spinnery, which isn't very much. It is also set to store, so we'll see what that turns out to be. We do have a cost per month of $120, and it looks like it can turn out 2,400 pieces of fabric in a month. I guess that's what that means. Not 100% sure, but we're going to go ahead and start back up here. Finish filling up this thing up and harvesting this field out, and we'll see how much we end up with. I don't think this field's going to be big enough though to keep the spinnery up and running all year, which is a little disappointing, but it's something that we can work on, maybe expand our operation. As I said before, it's something I definitely want to mess around with and check out. All right, folks, we are about to wrap up this field. This is going to put us close to 12,000. I don't think it's going to be enough to put us over that little lip. Almost 11.5. That's it. The field is done. We're going to go down here to the spinnery, drop off our hard-earned cotton. Once this is dumped off, we'll turn this piece of equipment back in. I guess it wasn't too bad. It took us about 45 minutes to harvest that whole field. We definitely need to look into expanding our operation to make it worthwhile. I think as it is right now, it's not going to be very profitable, but I do see the potential in it. Go ahead and roll this on down, and there it goes. It was taken in. So we're going to pack that back up. And then we're going to do a turn in. And there's our case right there. Go ahead and return that. We don't have any other leased equipment. And there we go. We're sitting at 31,000 liters of cotton. We've got 106 liters already produced of fabric. So it is working. We're going to head back over here. As you see, we got some eggs over here that we need to get loaded up on the trailer. Alright everybody, as you see, we finally got that loaded up. It was a bit of a mess, bit of a struggle, but we got it done. We're going to head down here to the restaurant. Actually, we're not going to head down here to the restaurant. Today's not the day. We got to sleep until tomorrow. And how are we looking on honey? We'll hold off on the honey. Only got one full pallet, so we're going to sleep. Alright, here we are in November. Let's go ahead and run this stuff in. I almost screwed up. I don't think this road's meant for an 18-wheeler. Alright, let's see what we get. 27,000. Not bad. I mean, not good either, but go ahead and secure our chicken food back there. There's the rest of our wheat. Alright, everybody. I do believe I'm going to wrap it up right there. Feel like we got quite a bit accomplished this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.